Surgery is not the answer. You need to call QC Kinetics today. It's Corey Coe from the Power Trip Morning Show. The advanced regenerative medicine solutions at QC Kinetics can give you a life without chronic joint pain. So you can do all those summer activities that you used to enjoy. Because QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in taking healing properties from your own body and applying them right into your aching joint. So your joint tissue can be repaired and restored naturally. Truly a revolutionary treatment. Patients across America are having life-changing results. No drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. So if you have pain in your knees, back, shoulders, or hips, you need to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can give you your life back. Call QC Kinetics now at 612-254-7123. That's 612-254-7123. 612-254-7123.
Jake from State Farm here to answer your what ifs.
What if I need a policy, but I just can't choose?
An agent can help you choose. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
What's worse than calling your groin your junk? Treating it like junk. Respect your pubic region with Gillette Intimate. Gentle and easy pubic hair care from America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. Gillette, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
71st anniversary savings of 71% off labor on any siding or roofing project. BuildersandRemodelers.com.
This report is sponsored by Sun Country Airlines.
Fan forecast.
62 overnight, mostly sunny, and 90 tomorrow.
Sun Country Airlines has 15 new low-fare, nonstop reasons to get to your next adventure. Wherever you go, you're bound to find the perfect spot to take your family on a trip of a lifetime this summer. Book today at suncountry.com. Get to going.
Back to Barreiro, live from the 651 Carpets, home of the Next Day Install Studios on FM 100.3 KFXN, Minneapolis, St. Paul. The Fan.
This little sounder.
Is that right?
Borton Volvo. Nicely done.
Wow.
Luigi is in the house. He'll be a part of Top 5 at 5, and then we'll talk plenty of hockey and other things with him. And you can reach Luigi via the Bradshaw and Bryan KFAN text line 64686. So get those texts started now, and we will try to include that with Louie. Welcome back. Good to see you. I admit I'm shocked, but then I'm not so shocked because it's mid-June. And I say to myself, well, he's got a cabin compound. It's the summer, so the weather's going to be decent. So why would we not see Luigi? It's just when it gets cold that we don't see anymore.
Well,
I mean,
I came in this morning. I got to go to the office,
Yeah, of course.
3 days in the office.
Yeah.
And then work from the lake later in the week.
NFP Insurance and Camps, we appreciate their support.
It was a good, you mentioned
With
the
Lou.
dog kennel that you put in at the cottage at the compound last summer. I thought
It's
it was
more than that.
Well, I know.
It's
But he couldn't be that
Dodge
big.
Mahal for dogs.
basically, yeah.
Because part of the reason he gets to commute from the cottage is the helipad that he put in right next there.
there
And
you go.
that's why he's here today. So
That's
I had to
it.
go upstairs and grab him on our helipad on the top of
I just figured you'd have
Utica.
one of those seaplanes that just landed in the lake.
Remember, we
balsa.
crashed it. We
Oh,
crashed
that's
it.
right. That's right. He did. I forgot about that.
By the way,
I
Louis,
have a friend, Jay Bruber, that does that, and I've been on that.
You have been on that too. Okay.
He comes from St. Paul.
One of those pontoon boat things where it can land on the water.
Very nice.
It's nice.
you turned 82 last week, Luigi?
Couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
right?
a couple
Weeks ago.
yeah.
I say that because if people want to go to KFAN.com/watch right now, we are streaming thanks to our friends at Quantum Fiber, and you'll look and say, he doesn't look a day over 81.
Are you kidding me?
How does this guy
does he do it?
continue to do it? We got a camera right on Louie's beautiful face and Dan's face as well, and I think my face too, but KFAN.com keyword watch if you'd like to watch the 5 o'clock hour. And
Where would you like to start the top 5 today?
well, congratulations and a thank you to Lou Nanne.
Oh.
Why? I'll let our guy John Roethlisberger explain.
I want to try to put you guys in the shoes of the athletes that are going to be competing here. They will raise their hand to do gymnastics that they have done thousands of times. But this time, they get to do it once. And that once has to be perfect. All of that dream and all of that sacrifice is on the line. That is going to happen right here.
Target Center is what at JR Flip Fest was talking about on social media because it was announced today. It kind of got leaked a week ago, but next year's Olympic trials, U.S. Gymnastics Olympic trials, men's and women, just a couple of weeks before the Paris Olympics, will be held at Target Center. It's late June. Suni Lee was there for a part of the process today as well, the reigning all-around champion. And it's right here, and we have Luigi to thank.
No.
All you do is get stuff done.
No. Wendy Blackshaw and Lester Bagley, Dave St.
Don't
Peter,
do the self-deprecating
They've got a
stuff.
great committee. I went a couple of times because of the hockey was involved in it too. The junior, we won a bit in the U.S. World Juniors.
Yep.
But we didn't get all our money that we would have liked. We did get enough for
Always
this
want
anyway.
More. Always want. You guys are always got your hands out for more.
Well, if
it's
you have
unbelievable.
many events, you need more.
Yeah, it's true. But
actually, people, you have to remember, the money you get there is just like a deposit you're putting in the bank. No, because you're going to
get
so
back.
much money back from the tourists coming in, the restaurant and hotel, all the things the benefits that you will get from having all these people come in for these events. And this is terrific. Suni Lee being from, Minnesota, and you get the Olympic trials here, and Wendy and their crew who worked so long on this is great.
Are we? Does this mean we're going to get men's gymnastics back at the U?
Be a nice jumping off point.
I mean, that's what I thought you were going to say. Because what better place to have this event than here, where we've got
the city of gymnastics.
We don't have.
Well, we
men's
staged it one
gymnastics.
time. Remember, we did the telethon on Channel 11.
Is that true?
With golf, right?
Yeah, with golf and gym. No, it was gymnastics.
Well, why didn't you guys
and
try
golf.
that again?
Well, somebody else got to do it. But it's
So we still don't have gymnastics. We don't have men's track, right? Is that? Or am I
men's
wrong?
tennis.
And tennis.
Tennis is out. We got a beautiful new women's facility.
So how did
being
we
built.
convince people that this would be the place to have the Olympic trials, even though college gymnastics doesn't exist here?
It does. It's not on the men's side.
On the men's side. Well, that's count men and women. I mean, come on. I'm just saying.
They're very persuasive.
Okay.
We got to get Justin involved because we need tennis back, right?
The tennis community, they've been all over me.
Well, you've done what you could. Garzi, aren't you? You're involved in a bunch of events. You do what you. I mean,
I do what I can.
They
I would
shouldn't
love to have
take it out
back.
on you.
I would love. You're right, but they do.
It's unbelievable.
They do. You're right, but they do.
Well, Bob McNamara is not around anymore. He was the driving force.
There you go.
And now his daughter Anne Marie, she's worked hard at it, but unfortunately, we don't have it right now.
Yeah.
Pablo Lopez takes the ball tonight at Target Field against Corbin Burns, the Minnesota Twins at 500, 33-33 in the season. Welcome the 34-32 Milwaukee Brewers to Target Field. Border battle revisited. First of a couple here, couple there. That's how they roll with the Interstate 94 deal. But the Twins come back. Joey Gallo, by the way, is back off of the injured list, and he will bat tonight. So the Twins are back.
Yeah, we were talking with LaTroy about the Twins starter tonight, and he brought this up just as we have before. There'd be less conversation about Luis Ariz flirting with 400 if the pitcher you got in return was dominating. And he got off to a dominant start, but now he's kind of come back to the pack. And Lou, we've talked about this a million times. When it comes to trades, everybody makes bad trades. Everybody makes bad acquisitions. What keeps that momentum, all that talk going is if you don't have success on your side of it. So, again, Ariz flirting with 400 could be historic. Who knows if he's going to stay there. But the fact is, if you're getting something really good in return, then people aren't going to spend as much time on it. It's not going to take up all the oxygen in the conversation. He's got to pitch better. He is started strong, faded a bit, and if he goes out and dominates like a 1 or a 2, then there won't be as much grousing about who you gave up in the deal. That's always the way it works, right?
That's right. And he actually, as he said, started better, so he's got it in him. And right now, he's just got to get back to how he was earlier in the season, which, by the way, drove a great contract for him.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
They did waste their time in that regard. Very true.
47 years, that's how long the Denver Nuggets have been in the National Basketball Association, and they got their first championship last night. 94-89 victory over the Miami Heat. They win it in 5. Jokic shaking everybody's hand, essentially just wanted to go home at the end of the game.
That was his quote, wasn't it?
The job is done. We can go home now.
Yeah.
The job is done. We can go home now.
The job is done and we can go home now.
And he's bitter.
It's as simple a way to put it, Louis, as you possibly can.
And he's bitter that the parade is on Thursday because he really meant it. He wanted to go home. He wanted to get out of there as quickly. Like you at the Winter Classic before you got on the plane the next day to Maui.
Very similar.
He wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible. After he did his job, you gave the speech.
The job is done. We can go home now.
Time to go to Maui. Joker says, I'm out. I want to go, but they've got the parade on Thursday, so he's got to stay.
Let's do this. Let's stay on schedule, and then we'll give Luigi a chance to respond to that soundbite and his own impressions of another, a city or a team, a franchise breaking through, which I love every time it happens because it is. It's new, it's different, it's fresh, and you could sense it in the way people in Denver have been celebrating, with one tragic exception. More Luigi, plenty of hockey conversation because the Stanley Cup Finals aren't over yet, not quite yet, and all the action will begin tonight right here on The Fan.
You're listening to
the left lane. You're looking at 37 minutes from 212 to the Fish Lake interchange. Eastbound 494 approaching an hour from 212 to 694, contributing to the delay, a crash on the right at Nicollet Avenue. 94 to eastbound crash on the right before 35W. Westbound a reported crash before 394. That's traffic on The Fan, sponsored by Summit Racing. Summit Racing wants you to gear up your truck or Jeep for your next off-road camping adventure. With millions of parts in stock, you'll find off-road and outdoor essentials so you can camp confidently and comfortably. SummitRacing.com, everything you need for anything you drive.
I'm Dan Barreiro, and I'm here with Joe Friedberg to talk about Smart Start MN. What do people need to know about the most serious effects of a DWI?
I've been a lawyer for a long time and tried hundreds of cases. I've known a lot of people who've lost their license and can't drive because of a DWI. You will lose your driver's license even before you've been found guilty. You need to drive. You have to drive.
Joe, what is an ignition interlock, and why is it important for people charged with DWI?
Smart Start MN has technology that's state approved, and the state will give them their license back. Smart Start MN can install a state-approved device in your car that will allow you to drive. The state has to let you drive.
How does someone know if they're eligible?
Go to smartstartmn.com and find out more about the program. Smart Start MN is the only locally owned and operated interlock company. Don't go with imitators. Go with the company that helped create this program.
Smartstartmn.com. That's smartstartmn.com.
Avenged Sevenfold in concert. The wait is finally over. A7X, Saturday, July 29th, Target Center. Special guest Alexis on Fire. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Avenged Sevenfold live at the Target Center.
At Shane Company, we believe everybody is made to shine. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. Shining is not for a chosen few. Like a rare gemstone, each one of us was created under just the right set of circumstances. Your moments, your milestones, your love story, all deserve to shine bright. You don't need an occasion or an invitation. You and your life are the event. At Shane Company, we handcraft our jewelry with the greatest care and hand select the most beautiful gemstones so you can shine. So put on a pair of earrings that make your eyes sparkle. Wear diamonds that light up the room. Try on sapphires in every color of the rainbow. Give an heirloom that collects new stories with each generation. We're all made to shine. Shane Company, fine jewelry since 1929.
You don't need to get personal, like revealing orange juice commercials make you cry. To get the State Farm personal price plan, just call or go to statefarm.com for a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Hey, Rosie here, speaking on behalf of the Twin Cities' best AC specialist, Sedgwick Heating and Air Conditioning. Summer is finally here, and that means you want your AC to work. Sedgwick has 65 years serving the Twin Cities with AC issues. Master technicians and no BS about unfair pricing. Just great guys committed to keeping you and your family happy and cool. Consistently earning 5-star ratings. And register today to win a new AC installed by the pros at Sedgwick or save $1,200 on a new new Lennox AC. Visit mncooling.com/summer.
Ever feel like your insurance company doesn't know you?
Insurance Corporation will issue generic plans where agricultural activities occur.
Only a human can visit your farm or ranch to know what you need. Find out why Farm Bureau Financial Services has been the #1 ag insurer for 25 years. It's your future. Let's protect it. Talk to an agent today or visit fbfs.com/protect. #1 ag insurer across our territory. 1996 to 2021 SNL PNC Group direct written premium.
Hi, this is Lou Nanne, and if there's one thing I've learned in life, it's that everything is better with bacon. That's why I'm very excited that Ken's Top the Tater has taken everything I love about the original chive onion flavor and added bacon. This is loaded baked potato flavor taken to the limit. Bacon chive onion Top the Tater is perfect for classic chips, tots, and baked potatoes. Find Ken's Top the Tater in your local grocers. Try the new bacon chive onion Top the Tater.
If your pubic region was quote-unquote junk, you wouldn't need America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. But it's not. So show some respect with Gillette Intimate. For a gentle and easy shave, Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Common here for All Elements, your roofing specialist in the upper Midwest. I've been telling you about the horrors of storm chasers lately. Heard this the other day from John at All Elements. Not long ago, pea-sized hail hit Buffalo. The last stone hadn't even hit the ground, and storm chasers were pulling up everywhere in unmarked trucks, knocking on doors, telling homeowners they had hail damage. Just sign on the dotted line and we'll get you a brand new roof. Talk about gutter scrapers. No integrity at all. Sad, really. Rely on All Elements. Visit them today at allelementsinc.net or kfan.com keyword roof. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your diamond to a larger lab-grown diamond during Arthur's Jewelers Trade Up Your Diamond event.
The Panthers and Knights in the Stanley Cup Finals tonight at 7 on the radio home of the Wild, FM 100.3 KFAN.
Well, she sneaks around the world from India to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filcher from Berlin down to Belize. She'll take you for a ride on a slow boat to China. Tell me where in the world is
Lou Nanne. In studio right now, text us. 64686 is the Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line. You can also watch us with Luigi. KFAN.com/watch, thanks to Quantum Fiber. So get on your, wherever, the kids all know where they need to go, right, Guardsy? They're so far advanced when
They're
it comes
probably
to
already there.
Video streams in a way that Louis, you and I can't even begin to understand.
KFAN.com/watch.
That's it.
Right there on your phone.
Yeah, right
Super
there.
easy.
See, it's very easy. And you can watch along or play along when we will get to, as I said, plenty of texts. I was talking about, I think, how refreshing it is when a team or franchise that has never won it wins it, because there is an innocence about the reaction that you get, I think, from the players, from, the coaches, and obviously from the fans inside the arena and outside of it as well. It's tremendous. I think.
You wait a lifetime to celebrate like that, and especially if you've never won it in your lifetime and you're a big fan, you're always hoping to realize.
Sure.
I didn't have that good fortune in hockey, but I did in baseball, which was great. And I just then imagine what it would have been like in hockey. And it's something that that's what makes sports, so enticing, to get that feeling that you never ever had before, to realize how wonderful it is to have finally realized the top of the mountain. And you see those fans last night, it was really something. I was surprised. I don't know what Peyton Manning had on his chest there. That big, I don't know what that was and why he had it on.
I didn't see it. What did he have on? Guards, did you see?
It had to be about a foot and a half.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. About the NBA championship, so. And it's something, isn't it, though? I don't know how these guys get the seats at the last minute.
Isn't that funny how that works?
Yeah. You got these people have these seats all year long, and the most important
they get
time.
Dumped.
Then they get dumped.
You're out of there.
You got Mahomes or Wilson, Russell Wilson. You had Peyton Manning, and
maybe they buy them off those people with suites or something. They got to buy them off with something, right?
Somehow, all of a sudden, out of these prime tickets. appear for these people.
Big NBA Finals, basically medallion on his chain is what Peyton Manning was wearing, with a very sharp shirt sweater combo in very Manning style.
And there's nothing, Louis, like winning it at home, too, because that doesn't always happen. You know, you're not always fortunate enough to get it. You know, you'll take it wherever you can get it, obviously, but when you can wrap it up in your home arena, you know, in front of your home fans, man, or home stadium or home rink, whatever, all the better.
Yeah, that's right. And as you said, so many times it doesn't happen like that. I know the times we were involved in the Stanley Cup, the teams that beat us, it was on the road, was in our building.
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
The Islanders did beat us there, but here we had Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, I remember it there.
Yeah.
Remember it well, yeah. Met Center. Right?
And you see a lot of them like that.
Yeah.
You know, Vegas tonight obviously has a chance to do it at home, which would be something. I mean, that town's going to go crazy if they win it. 6th year in the franchise. I mean, that's almost, you know, unbelievable that you win it in your 6th year in existence. I don't know what other sports I can remember that a team won it that quickly.
Well, we'll double check it, and we have good unofficial amateur researchers as well who can probably answer that question, because I have a hunch it doesn't happen much. That's for sure.
When you start a new league, it's going to happen. But outside of starting a new league, I'm just thinking.
How about, did you see also Jokovic's brothers are hilarious
Wasn't
to
that
watch.
something?
And they're lifting, the head coach in the air, and it's just too good. I would think they would be a trip just hanging out with them. Forget about the Joker, just hanging out with the brothers.
You know what I thought of at that time? I was wondering, is Djokovic the same nationality as the
tennis star?
The tennis star,
yes. Guards he's got, yes, he is. Absolutely.
Now, isn't that something?
Yes, it's amazing.
I watched the tennis, and then you see him win that, and then Djokovic winning this. It's amazing. Two people getting that kind of success from small country, and especially in tennis.
So, Garza, you can answer the question. I got to believe the tennis star is still bigger in Serbia than the Joker.
I don't know
if it's a wide margin, but just because he's been at the top for a while, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's been
now that's tennis.
15,
I don't know.
Years.
I'd be curious. I wonder what people would say there to that. Who's the bigger name, the bigger star?
I think it's a very big deal for Jokic to be getting texts from Djokovic.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
because he grew up watching it, and obviously Djokovic kind of put Serbia on the map on the tennis world. So I would think it's probably. And he asked him. Someone asked him last night if Novak texted him, and he said he went to look and he had too many texts, and then just turned his phone off.
Well,
said bleep it. And turned his phone off.
He also said that there was a time where he was talking about his family. That there was a time in Serbia where his wife or girlfriend, who became his wife, and his brothers, that they all lived in the same apartment or house. I think he called it a circus. He said it was it was like being at the circus. I just can't even imagine what that might have been like. It's so amazing. He goes from that, whatever that was, to now the most recognizable face on the World Championship basketball team.
Well, the most amazing thing about that is look at the size of them, because the house they were living in wasn't going to be big, and then you have
true.
that. I mean, they're enormous. So even the brothers were big.
Yeah,
and like you said, the money he's making now, he probably bought a village, but. It is something to see those two athletes yesterday. I mean, it was something to watch the tennis, and it was something to watch that. 23 Grand Slams.
It's remarkable. Yeah. Who will the Wild? The hockey questions are already coming in. Who will the Wild trade this offseason?
That's going to be interesting because they don't have a lot of cap room. I'm interested to see what Bill's going to do, because I'm looking at what additions can you make. I think looking at the Stanley Cup playoffs, he's still got to be looking at the defense and say we need a little more size back there.
Mm-hmm.
You want that, and you want the centerman. If you're looking, you got good size in the wings. You got very competitive people. You got people that are physical, but you need the ability to move people away from that net. You need the ability to move the puck at center ice, and I'm anxious to see what things get done. He does have draft choices he can use, but he doesn't have the cap room that he can use. And maybe there's still a place like Arizona might still take somebody and take some of the contract, and you'll be able to fit somebody in because somebody else is taking part of the contract. But that's, I'm sure, what they're working on right now.
So it's got to be as creative as possible. There's got to be, it's almost got to be things that we can't envision that he knows might be possible because he knows all the particulars out there that surprise you. It's almost like that's what I think you might be looking for. Let's stay on schedule. More text coming in. I got plenty to talk about regarding the Wild. I want to run a Jack Eichel story by you, and then I want to talk about whether you think everything's going to get wrapped up on the Stanley Cup side tonight as it was in the NBA Finals side last night as well. More Luigi in studio. We can watch him, or you can watch him, KFAN.com/watch, thanks to Quantum Fiber.
This is Bumper to Bumper with Dan Barreiro on The Fan.
Meet some.
Ugh. Well, you know what you can do? Get yourself a water treatment system from Connecticut, and you won't have any of that. The amazing water treatment system from Connecticut is A+. Say bye-bye to rust stains and contaminants like lead and arsenic and spots on your dishes by going to Connecticut.com.
I'm Israel Gutierrez. I'm hosting a new podcast called 4 Years of Heat. It takes you to Miami from 2010 to 2014, when LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade set the NBA ablaze.
You know, have an opportunity to team up with the best trio to ever play the game of basketball.
We'll take you inside those 4 monumental years with behind-the-scenes access and insight about one of the greatest teams ever assembled. 4 Years of Heat on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Barreiro for Mosquito Shield. And let's be honest, with this wicked winter, you'll be valuing your backyard time more than ever. When we get to summer, imagine your backyard free of mosquitoes and those diseased ticks. Mosquito Shield makes it happen by servicing your yard for the entire season, not just part of it. And it's all they do. Go to moshield.com/Dan and get $50 off a season of service. This will change your summer.
Imagine if you got paid 2 days early. You could go on a shopping spree, jet overseas, buy a castle, live the high life. With True Payday, your money arrives in your TrueStone checking account up to 2 days early. So pamper yourself. Or pay bills. Bills are important. True Payday means no more waiting around. It's true, because we're TrueStone. Start getting paid early at truestone.org. Direct deposit required. Insured by NCUA.
Want to build a rewarding career? Join Twin City Framers, the industry leader in the largest wood-framed projects. Twin City Framers believes good work deserves good pay. That's why a lead framer makes $37.75 per hour with profit sharing and scheduled reviews with raises. Plus, full insurance, 401k, paid time off, training, a great work environment, and more. At Twin City Framers, enjoy constant, safe work and get home in time for dinner. Apply at twincityframers.com now.
We see some patients who come in and they have been in just so much pain for so long that they are just deflated.
But that's about to change because QC Kinetics provides hope for relief using all new regenerative treatments that concentrate your body's own healing properties into aching hips, back, shoulders, and knees. And Dr. Zuckerman, a medical director at QC Kinetics, loves watching the patient transformations.
One of the most amazing things is when I get to see a patient who, after a few months of our treatments, is just a completely different person. They are smiling and happy, and the weight of the world is off their shoulders because we were able to take away their pain.
And that's with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
It's just amazing to be able to change people's lives like that. It's very gratifying.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 612-254-7123. That's 612-254-7123. 612-254-7123.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code PM12 for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's code PM12. Use code PM12 for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill up.
Hey, it's Guardsy for my friends at uglydeck.com. They're going to help you build your own deck. They're going to do the hard stuff like footings and ledger installation. You're going to do the rest, and you're going to save thousands. Never been a better time with the weather here in Minnesota. It's been absolutely beautiful. Feels like deck season. Take advantage of it and build the deck of your dreams with uglydeck.com. You'll get a free DIY coach every step of the way. They'll drop the materials you need right there on your driveway. Like I said, help with the hard stuff. You're on your way, and you'll be enjoying your new deck in no time. Check out their awesome showroom down in Shakopee and learn more at uglydeck.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant seeking justice for the injured. Online at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
71% off labor on all siding, roofing, and door projects. Buildersandremodelers.com.
This report is sponsored by Farm Bureau Financial Services.
Fan forecast.
60s overnight, high of 80 tomorrow with more sun.
For more than 80 years, Farm Bureau Financial Services has built relationships first and plans second. We visit your farm or ranch to know exactly what you need. Talk to a local Farm Bureau agent today or visit fbfs.com/protect. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Back to Barreiro, live in the 651 Carpets, home of the Next Day Install Studios. On FM 100.3 KFAN, The Fan.
Head to the KFAN contest page. Enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to Lakefront Music Fest 2023. It's happening July 14th and 15th in Prior Lake, featuring performances by Darius Rucker, REO Speedwagon, and many more. It's KFAN.com, keyword contest.
Lou Nanne's in studio. Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line is 646-86, I should say, if you have questions for him. 646-86 or observations. A couple of our sports historians saying that Philly won the Cup in their 7th and 8th year. That's from Mark. Now, again, but Philly was part of basically they created a whole new division.
Yeah.
Right? And so they all came in at the same time. And somebody, well, I guess that doesn't guarantee that you're going to win the Cup. That's true. It guarantees somebody's going to get to the Cup finals.
That was still impressive.
Yeah, it was. No question. Marlins came into the MLB in 93 and won it in 97. We are reminded as well. So it is pretty rare. Vegas can do it tonight. They are at home. All the action on the Fan beginning at 7 o'clock this evening. So is it going to be like it was with Denver, that they're going to wrap things up at home? Or do you see any hope for this series being extended by the Panthers?
You can never count Florida out, but I think having Kachuk injured the way he was injured, and you could see it throughout the game that he just wasn't able to perform the way he normally can. And I can't see him getting better, even though they had the extra day of layoff. And they already are out there, one of their top centermen. And being in Vegas, where you know they're going to smell blood, and they've been so tough at home as it is anyway, I got to believe that Vegas is going to be able to win this game. The only question mark is, can Aiden Hill continue to play the way he has in net, which he gives you no reason to think that he can't. But that, in my mind, the only hope Florida got is somehow, some way, they're going to be able to get a lot of goals, because Bobrovsky's been sensational, but Vegas still scores, and I think Vegas is going to continue to score. The only thing that really surprises me is the amount of opportunities Vegas has had in the power play compared to what Florida's had in the power play. I don't know.
It's fascinating.
I'm not, again, get on the referees intentionally, but I don't know how you can have that kind of a physical, intense game continually all the way through, and only one team's getting any penalties. And Florida finally got one, with 20, 30 seconds to go at the end of the game when they almost tied the game to Peter Angelo for delay of game. But other than that, the penalty differential is surprising to me.
I want to read you a quote about how we evaluate players, whether we're talking about the Stanley Cup, well, going all the way back to the Wild series where Kaprizov didn't do all that much, and the feeling was that he was hurt as well. how we decide when we give grace to players who have injuries and when we don't. This is a Jeff Van Gundy quote. Because I think this has come up regarding Jimmy Butler, because some people are saying, well, if Butler seemed a little bit off, it might be that ankle that sidelined him briefly during the Knicks series had something to do with that. Here's Van Gundy. It's just so funny to me in the media how certain guys, when they play well, are cut slack for whatever issues may have occurred, and other guys aren't. Like when Steph Curry was in the finals, every time he missed a shot, it was because of his ankle. And every time he made a shot, it was heroic for overcoming his ankle. To me, if you're out there, you're healthy enough, and you should be judged on your performance. So what do you say to that? How much grace do you think he's being too tough, or does he have a point?
Well, I have to tell you, it's funny. I hadn't heard him say that, but I used to say to our team, our players, if you're out there, you're going to be judged as if you're able to play the game completely by the fans. They see you out there. They don't know how much you're suffering, and they don't know that you can't go full strength or do something. And you know, only the people in their circle might know that something is really, really bothering you. So don't expect to get any sympathy or have any excuses, because if you're going to go out there and skate in the ice, everybody assumes you're able to play and play as well as you have in the past.
So how about you as a talent evaluator?
I would have to give some of them slack. No, you can see, if you're watching Kachuk, you could see the way he was taking checks, going to give checks, or having or favoring his arm for shooting or fighting for pucks. It's very evident that he's a different player than he normally is. And even though everybody might think that he's healthy being out there, but you have to look at the player and realize that there's certain things where he's constrained. He's not able to compete the way he did before. And you've got to give credence to that.
As I mentioned, we'll take texts, and a couple other things I want to get into regarding the Stanley Cup Finals, and just more speculation regarding the Minnesota Wild. When's the draft? The draft is late June?
I
think it's coming up. It's not
June,
that far off. Yeah.
About the 27th or something. It'll be starting with, I don't even know what today is, but I think a week from this Friday will probably be the draft.
Wednesday the 28th.
Wednesday the 28th.
Into Thursday.
Okay.
Will you be going?
No. I'll be watching on TV like I always do.
Well, plenty of time to get to that before then. I mentioned I wanted to talk a little bit about Eichel, and I'm not a great medical mind. You might be.
No, I'm not.
But remember there were people here who were fantasizing about acquiring him, if you recall. But part of the question was, well, he's got this neck issue that is going to sideline him for a while, and the projection was, if you get the Eichel that we think we can get, you're still going to get a great player, but you're going to have to wait, right? Wasn't that the deal? It was going to take some time.
No, but I don't know where the speculation was, because we were in a cap situation. And I'm saying, how are they going to afford to get an Eichel?
Yes. I mean, it was not realistic.
No, there was just no way.
Well, people, they want to project. They want things to go their way. But as I understand it, and maybe we've got some good medical minds out there, maybe you understand this, that the surgery that Eichel underwent was not, when you're dealing with neck issues, was not the approach that has been taken medically by lots of doctors and lots of players. And he got tied up, Eichel did, with a doctor who wanted to look at things a whole new different way. And I don't know if there's a name for I think there is a name for the procedure. I'm going to try to find it here in a minute. That this doctor believed was going to give Eichel the best chance. Because when you're talking about the spine, you're talking about the neck.
Right. This
is sensitive stuff. Do you know anything about this? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about as far as what he was going through at the time. And that's what the problem was, because everyone was concerned whether he really was going to be able to play and as effectively as he had in the past, or even play at all. You don't know. When you start dealing with neck and back, there's been too many times when people have not come back and not been able to play at all, let alone just even play somewhat as close to where they were before.
I'll give you some details here. apparently he flies to Colorado to visit a doctor for a second opinion with a doctor named, is it Prusmack? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, Prusmack, Prusmack, who said the fusion procedure has been proven and safe in contact sports such as football, rugby, and hockey, but it's not ideal. So this doctor is saying to Eichel, he's offering up what was viewed as a life argument. If he got the fusion, every 10 years, he would run a 10 to 15% chance of needing another surgery. So he convinced him to try this procedure called ADR. I'm still trying to get more information on it, that he thought would be more sustaining in that regard. And ultimately, that's the direction they went. And part of the reason this is interesting now is there was a debate with the Sabres team doctors at the time who said, we're not comfortable that we think this is the way to go with this operation. And Eichel ultimately ended up, in fact, according to this story, it's an ESPN story, panel of spine surgeons, most if not all, sided with the Sabres. And so he tells the Sabres he wants to be traded. He had failed his physical ahead of the 2021-22 season, and ultimately was able to convince the right people to go with this different approach. Now, again, who knows? Maybe if they'd gone with the more conventional fusion, he'd be just as fine. I don't know. But the fact is, that's one of the interesting angles regarding Eichel and the possibility that he might have opened eyes for other hockey players, especially dealing with these sorts of health neck issues, going that's the same route that he did.
Well, in hockey, and I'm sure it's in every sport, when you're getting these serious injuries, many, many times the player gets the second opinion. They want to make certain the track that they're taking is the one that they're most comfortable with and believe in the most. And what to me was the real key in all of this, and I remember the fight they were having, and he wanted to be traded, and that's when all the trade talk came up, is the fact that Vegas was willing and able to gamble on him. You know, you pay a big price for it when you're going to a player like that. Even though he's hurt, you might not be paying completely the full price, but
right?
You're still paying a heavy price with that uncertainty. Yet they were willing to do it because they needed that type of player, and were hoping it was going to come through. And knowing Vegas, they probably did a lot of follow-up and talk with the doctor that Eichel was going to be doing the operation with to see what his feelings were on it.
So ADR stands for artificial disc replacement.
Yeah.
So in that surgery, that procedure, a surgeon removes a herniated spinal disc and replaces it with an implant device. It's, I mean, the medical, well, you know this as well as anybody, the advances medically and the changes that have been made, it's hard to keep up with all of it. It's astonishing.
And when you saw him get checked in the game,
scary.
Kachuk, everybody, what was the first reaction? Did that affect?
What was his reaction?
Yeah, his reaction, and the first reaction by even the commentators. Everybody was thinking, did that hurt his neck where he was hurt before? Was this going to be something that's going to put him out of the rest of the series?
His doctor said he almost threw up.
That's the quote I was heading towards. Yeah, he said, waiting in angst, I almost threw up, exactly what he said. Because he said, every time I watch him, I get nervous. I've been less and less nervous lately until that particular hit. In a sort of selfish way, I was happy when Jack got hit because it showed the resilience of what we did. I guess we'll never know, but it is interesting, and his case was so unusual in that, you know, I think you could argue times, Louis, have changed for the better, medically speaking, because there was a time when the player really had to do whatever the team said,
right,
flat out, and that can be okay, but you're at the mercy of whether the team is got the right doctor and spending the right, kind of money on getting the best representation there. If I were an athlete, I mean, I think that can be a little bit scary.
Oh, I'm telling you. I mean, even small things. We used to, if we got cut in St. Louis, we didn't get stitched in St. Louis. We waited till we got home, put the stitches in after, because that guy was pretty shaky. And I know everybody there's a lot of different feelings. Now they travel with a doctor. We didn't travel with doctors. So when you went to other cities, you're always very concerned when you're hurt if the doctor you're dealing with is capable. because you don't know them like you know your own doctor. So at least you don't have to go through that today because you have their own doctor with them.
So you will not be in Vegas. You're not going tonight.
No.
It won't be there. But as you say, well, everybody, you've said this last week, and Russo has told us this as well, that the atmosphere there is off the charts. So I can't even imagine what they might be planning for tonight, right?
Today, the good thing about it is the fans there don't seem unruly. They just seem enthusiastic. I hope that doesn't change tonight if they win. But all the fans there seem to know how to celebrate, know how to get excited about games, and they are very, very entertained by the things that the Vegas Knights put on. Watching a game there is like going to a Hollywood spectacle. It's not really hockey. Some of the things they do are on the side, and they know how to generate the right atmosphere in there for the fan, and the fan going to the game right now. They just love being there. It's a real thrill to be in the building rather than just watching on TV.
Do you view Vegas as a team that's going to last a while? That this has got, I don't want to go the D word dynasty. That probably gets overused, but are they a team that is set up to be a factor here for a while, or not so much?
Oh yeah, they are, because they got the right parts. The only thing that's going to concern me, and it always does, is goaltending first, because they went through 5 goaltenders this year, mostly because of injury, but none of them were goaltenders that you're thinking are going to be a difference maker, and yet they were able to get by with it. And now Hill is becoming a difference maker, but here he has been around 7 years. I think the most games he ever played in the league was 27 in a year, and so you don't expect this. Is it going to be able to continue? It's just like how many goaltenders we've seen come in, have a great rookie year, and then go down their sophomore year. So that's, you don't know. But the defense they have is big, strong, mobile. They're strong down the middle. Eichel is the leader, and he's still young, which is good. They've got really good players on the wings that are young enough to play well enough. So they're going to be. They're not. I don't believe they're going to be a dynasty, but they're going to be. They're going to be very competitive. And I really like the management they got there. They're strong. They do a good job of assessing the needs and filling them.
Todd from Arizona has a draft question with a wild focus on centers in the draft. He says he hopes so. We've been talking about the center position for this hockey team. It feels like forever, Louis. Forever, I think, to a certain extent.
Well,
but you can't really think that way in the draft, right?
No, especially when they're picking way down too.
Yeah.
By then, if there are great centers in there, they should be gone. When you're drafting a team, in my mind, you always pick the best player. If you always got the most best players, then you should be able to fill the needs that you have in other areas. If you're short on a defenseman, you trade one of the other areas where you have a surplus, because you've been continuing to get the best players at that position. So it's really tough when you're, and what are they? They must be way down there around 18, 20, or even 22nd, 24th, wherever they're picking. By that time, the majority of the players that you're thinking are going to be capable of being a star in the league should be gone. And when you look at the draft, if you look at how many players make it from the first round, second round, third round, we've had 5th round players that are great, 6th round players are great, but that's not the norm. That's not the norm. So you have to just get the best player you can get.
Well, how is this draft viewed generally?
This draft is very good.
Deep.
Very deep.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why the Wild do have extra picks here early that maybe they can make a deal if they want to trade a draft.
Try to move up, you mean?
Again, move up or trade for a player. It all depends.
Yeah.
You see draft choices traded way more now than you did before, because you have free agency. So you fill the other voids by signing a free agent, which you could never do before. So the draft isn't as valuable. Before, the only way you're going to build a team, you have to build through the draft. Yeah, because you couldn't go
there weren't
out and
options.
Right. Players had no mobility at all. There was no free agency. Now with free agency, there's mobility and there's opportunity.
The Buffalo Bills made some news today because Stephon Diggs, the former Vikings wide receiver, I guess showed up for some meetings but did not participate in the mandatory practices, as is the case with Danielle. I don't think Danielle Hunter showed up at all. But the Diggs situation is fraught with a little bit more controversy beyond just a contract situation, which is what it is obviously is with Daniil. Buffalo imploded in the postseason, lost badly to Cincinnati, and there was a scene in the sidelines with Diggs. He could be very dramatic, and he's gesturing with his quarterback like he's frustrated. And his head coach didn't even deny that he's worried about the current situation. Now, whether he means he's worried that it can't get resolved or he's worried because he thinks Diggs is going through something emotionally, we don't know. But if it's the former, if it's more to do with a player who's discontented about how his quarterback played or whether he's getting the ball enough or at the right time or whatever, what is your general manager's philosophy, or what was your philosophy when, and I don't know how often it happened, but now we're in a world where everything's public. And so as soon as, Stephon Diggs unfollows the Buffalo Bills on Twitter, everybody knows it, or the Jackals know it. So was your view as a general manager, can't panic, you're not going to force me to do something that I don't think is in our interest to do, or did you quickly come to the conclusion that if this is going to be our ongoing saga, a series of headaches, even involving a talented player, then let's just cut the cord when we can?
Well, I'm not saying I did with Belichick,
right?
Because he was after me, and not the same thing. But do you ever see this happening on a Patriots sideline? No, and he's won the most trophies. Now he was able to do it because he had a quarterback that stayed with him and do it. But in my mind, and I think I might have been wrong, probably was wrong, but I traded every player that ever came in that asked to be traded. I figured if you weren't committed to our team, I don't know what was going to make you commit to the team. And of course, as you said, I didn't just pick up the phone and get out of here, but I'd say
you'd start working.
I say, if you really feel that way, the odds are very strong you're going to go, because we're not. And most of the time, many of the times, it was coming in and complaining about the coach.
Right.
And I had one guy, I'm not even going to say who he is. I liked him as a defenseman. And he came in and he said, "Can I talk to you?" I said, "Sure." I said, "What's in your mind?" He said, "Why am I not in the power play?" I said, "Do you ask the coach? He runs the team." "Yeah, but he doesn't think I should be there." I said, "Well, you're lucky he's coach." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because I wouldn't even have you on a regular shift." So they get up and they walk out. You got in my mind, I always have to support the coach. And one guy comes in and says, "Well, I got to go. If you're going to keep this coach, I got to go. It's me or the coach." I said, "Well, you're going to go." And that's the way it usually was. I maybe it's because I had a thing in my contract, no one I'm sure has had before, since, or even now. I had a thing in my contract where I got paid more if I was sent anywhere else, including the minors, because I didn't want to be anywhere else but Minnesota. I signed my own contract. It was a personal service contract, and that was the unique clause that I had in there. And so I couldn't fathom wanting to play somewhere else. It would never be just get me out of here, get me out of here. So I maybe I took it to the wrong level, but I felt the same way with the team that we had in Minnesota. If you did, Bobby Smith, I never wanted to trade Bobby Smith. That one took me the longest. It took me 6 months before I made a deal, but he kept coming in to get traded, and I didn't want to tell anybody. Of course, it devalues the player.
Well, as I recall, what you said is if the player comes in, you say, "I'm going to try to get that done," but don't be an idiot and go public, because the minute you go public, then you're taking away the best opportunity I have to get value for you and to get the deal done, correct?
That's exactly right. That's what I said. And one of the guys I traded to Quebec, and after he, traded, and I saw him in the offseason, he says, "Hey, why did you trade me to Quebec?" I said, "You wanted to get traded." He said, "Well, I didn't want to go to Quebec." I said, "Well, when you do this kind of stuff, you don't just take a player and say, 'Well, where do you want to go? I'll send you there.'"
Yeah, good luck.
That's not quite the way the deal works. And I actually wanted to tell one of the guys when I traded him to Winnipeg, I sent you to Winnipeg because the mosquitoes are so big there. It's just unbelievable. But you try and, at the time, you just try and make the best deal for the team. Your concern is not for where the player's going to end up, because he doesn't want to be with you.
Yeah.
But I just always like the team. I love the feeling that when a team really wants to be there. And I wanted people to want to be in Minnesota, and thought, I used to think everybody at the end of the year should stay in Minnesota and live in Minnesota. At that time, most of the guys are Canadian in the league, and they'd all go back to Canada. I say, you got to stay around here. You'll love it. It's better. Nowadays, guys have the mobility and the affordability to have houses in both places, so they do it more.
Or wherever they want them, basically. Very true. Oh, will we see you in studio next week?
No.
Oh, that'd be a record, I think,
so.
3 in a row.
I'm going to be at the lake.
You'll be at the lake. All right.
I'm still waiting for you to come up there.
We got to figure out, time to get there ourselves.
I'm going to work out of there.
Because I know Chad Abbott's been there, and Chad Abbott just raves about the entire setup that you got there. He said it's unbelievable.
Well,
we got to figure it out.
We get by.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Great stuff as always, and we will one way or another chat next week, probably by phone.
Look forward to it.
Thanks, Luigi.
Yep.
Lou Nanne helping us out as only he can do each and every Tuesday. We'll keep him going certainly through the not only the Stanley Cup Finals, which might end tonight, but also the draft as well. We'll come back with a final half hour of the program in which we might reprise what we got to early, my continuing exasperation with the national media outlets' inability to see past their own noses when it comes to evaluating greatness.
You're listening to Barreiro on The Fan.